Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Whether or Not. We are your co-hosts for this evening's show. I'm Nick Guzzo.
And I'm Ryan DePhillips. So Nick, we had a really chilly start to the week, but things have really changed since then.
Yeah, Ryan, we started this week with below average temperatures, but now things have warmed up and we have above average temperatures. I'm interested to see how long this warm period will be lasting.
Yeah, me as well, Nick. So with daylight saving time now in effect and it getting closer to winter, the sun will continue to set even earlier and cool the atmosphere. So how cool will it get next week? Well, Salix will have the full details on what conditions may be like.
But before that, we have some nature in the news stories. I have two stories this week, one about a monster typhoon that struck the Philippines, and another discussing what a blue moon is.
For my nature in the news stories, I'll be talking about a new study about falling petrified iguanas and how Greenland's coastline is changing due to ice melt. We also have a feature from our very own Dan Guzman on the 2020 hurricane season.
But first, here's nature in the news. The most powerful storm on the planet in 4 years struck the Philippines this past weekend. Typhoon Goni made landfall on the Caduanas Island in the Philippines with winds of 195 miles per hour. Warm ocean waters helped fuel this typhoon and allowed the storm to grow into a monster. Winds of that intensity are extremely powerful, but this is not the first time the Philippines have dealt with such an intense storm. Two other typhoons, Haiyan and Meranti, have also made landfall in the Philippines in previous years with winds of 195 miles per hour. Goni's destructive winds also produced a storm surge of 10 feet in some locations. Ahead of the typhoon, 1 million residents evacuated. Damage near the landfall location has been described as catastrophic. Roofs were ripped from homes and flung through the air. Trees and power poles snapped, and roads turned into rivers from the heavy rainfall. At least 23 fatalities have occurred from Goni in the Philippines, and that number is expected to rise as rescue missions are still ongoing.
A new study suggests that Floridian lizards can endure lower temperatures than previously thought. It turns out that 6 Floridian lizards can endure temperatures 4 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit lower than a study suggested in 2016. If cold enough air is present, these cold-blooded reptiles can become petrified and are known to fall off from trees unharmed. Natural selection may be the reason why these lizards are able to adapt more to colder air. Scientists are beginning to speculate that weaker species of lizards are dying off, while stronger species are becoming more adaptable to larger temperature changes. For example, the brown basilisk lizard was thought to have become petrified at 52 degrees or lower. However, it turns out that they can be resilient to as low as 41.9 degrees. This study of lizards may shed some light on how an increase in extreme weather events from global warming may affect these animals.
Halloween being on a Saturday wasn't the only cool aspect of the day. The second full moon of October fell on the 31st, which made it a blue moon. Although the name might make you think the moon takes on a blue color, it actually has to do with the number of full moons during a certain period of time. This name is used when 2 full moons happen in a single calendar month, or 4 full moons happen in a single season. Typically, there are 3 full moons per season, so when there are 4, the third full moon is given the name blue moon. Blue moons are relatively rare and on average occur every 2.5 years. The last seasonal blue moon was May 18, 2019. And the next one is on August 22nd, 2021. March 31st, 2018 was the last calendar month blue moon before the one we had this past Halloween. A blue moon is already rare, but one falling on Halloween is extremely rare. The last blue moon to fall on the holiday was in 1944, and the next one won't be until 2039. So hopefully you're able to get outside and take some cool photos in your costumes with the moon, especially if you were a werewolf.
Every year, Greenland's 500 gigaton loss of ice shapes the landscape below. 89% of all Greenland's glaciers have retreated in the past decade, causing the coastal continent's landmass to change. Further loss of ice may actually accelerate and have a profound impact on Greenland's coastal ecosystem. Similar to global warming, The process is also a feedback loop. Glacial meltwater lubricates the glaciers so that they can slide more easily on the underlying bedrock. As a result, the bottoms of glaciers start to melt, which further causes glaciers to speedily retreat. Changes in glaciers' water outlets also affects changes in glacial movements. Researchers have observed that more meltwater paths have been rerouted with an increase in meltwater itself. The consequence results in glaciers becoming more stranded like lakes rather than flowing like rivers. With the continual rise in sea levels, further research will be pivotal in understanding how glaciers affect coastal landscapes.
Good evening, I'm State Meteorologist Salix Iverson here with your Central PA forecast. Looking at our surface maps, the key words that I have for this weekend are dry, sunny, and warm. And this is because we'll have high pressure dominating our weather pattern for the next couple of days. So for Friday, we'll see high pressure off to our south, right around Kentucky, Virginia. But by Saturday, this high pressure will make its way north towards us here in Pennsylvania, again giving way to very sunny and very warm conditions across the state and across much of the eastern portion of the United States. By Sunday, this high pressure will make its way a little bit further to the east, heading towards the Atlantic Ocean, but we'll still be experiencing dry, sunny, and warm conditions here in Pennsylvania. So what does this mean for our forecast? Friday, 63 for our expected high, warm and sunny. Above average temperatures are expected. 63 is above average by about 10 to 15 degrees here in State College. Looking towards Friday evening, we'll have a low dropping down to 41 degrees, mostly clear. And to put this in perspective, this time last Friday, our forecasted and observed overnight lows were in the 20s to upper 30s across Pennsylvania. So we're really feeling a lot warmer during the day and overnight this weekend. Looking towards our Maryland and Penn State game, a 3:30 p.m. kickoff here in State College, and right around that kickoff we'll be seeing a very sunny sky and 62 for a high, so if you want to watch the game, maybe socially distant with some close friends outside, it'll be great weather to do so. However, if you've seen the first two games of this season and really don't want to watch Penn State play football, then it would be a great day to go for a walk or for a hike and enjoy the sun and the warmth while it lasts. Looking towards Sunday, we'll have a high of 64, some more clouds in the area, but still mostly sunny for Sunday. Again, 64 degrees, so a very nice weekend in store. And now let's bring it to our very own Dan Guzman, who has a feature on this year's hurricane season.
On June 1st, 2020, hurricane season officially began. With two tropical storms, Arthur and Bertha, that came before it, the season was already off to a record-breaking start. More specifically, being the sixth consecutive year to have preseason storm systems take shape. By this time, it was quite obvious this season was going to be special. Quickly after the start, Tropical Storm Cristobal formed and made landfall in southern Mexico on June 3rd, as well as Louisiana on the 7th, where it weakened to a tropical depression. However, the first hurricane did not form until late July, when Hurricane Hanna became a Category 1 system and made landfall on Padre Island, Texas. The next strongest storm was Hurricane Laura, which strengthened to a powerful Category 4 storm on August 26th. It also became the strongest cyclone in terms of wind speed to make landfall there. Sadly, about 27 people were killed when it made landfall near Cameron, Louisiana on August 27th and caused about $14 billion in damage. September was the most active month, with 10 named storms, but towards the middle, something special happened. On September 18th, the National Hurricane Center officially exhausted the main list of names and began using the Greek alphabet. This is only the second time in recorded history, with 2005 being the first, to use the Greek alphabet. Tropical Storm Alpha was this first Greek-named storm, and it made landfall near Lisbon, Portugal on September 19th. Next came a series of stronger storms, including Hurricane Delta, a major Category 4 storm that impacted both Mexico and the U.S., and Hurricane Epsilon, another major Category 3 storm that luckily had minor impacts on Bermuda and stayed mostly out to sea. Most recently, Tropical Depression 29 formed on October 31st in the eastern Caribbean. Earlier the next morning, it was officially named Tropical Storm Eta. This now officially tied the record with the 2005 season as having the most named storms. It quickly became 2020's fifth major hurricane and peaked at a Category 4 rating with 150 mile-per-hour winds on November 3rd. Finally, it made landfall on the coast of Nicaragua with 140 mile-per-hour winds. It caused significant damage, most notably mudslides, which destroyed thousands of homes. It since has been downgraded to a tropical depression and is moving in Cuba's direction. Although we are nearing the end of this year's hurricane season, officially on November 30th, there's still time that could allow 2020 to have more than 28 named storms and be the most active season on record. For example, in 2005, there were 3 more storms in mid to late November before the end of the season. Gamma, Delta, and Epsilon all appeared in the closing weeks of the 2005 season, and the same could be true for 2020.
Good evening, I'm student meteorologist Salix Iverson, back again, now with your extended forecast. If we want to look at our weekend recap, like I mentioned, hot, dry, and sunny this weekend due to high pressure in control. Very warm conditions. Our average for this time of year is about in the mid-50s, so we'll be about 10 degrees warmer this weekend. 63 on Friday, sunny and warm, with abundant sunshine on Saturday, another day of 63. Some more clouds on Sunday, but the sun will stick. And look at that low temperature on Sunday, 48 degrees for an expected low Sunday night overnight. Our extended forecast for the next work week will remain above average for the first half of the week, but the sun will not stick much longer as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, overcast conditions with a chance for some rain on Wednesday. By Thursday and Friday, we'll drop closer to average for this time of year is about 53 to 54 degrees for our average high temperature. So we'll be dropping a lot closer to those temperatures, but the sun will come back. Back to you guys.
And now back to our Weather Whiz quiz question. On average, how often does a blue moon occur? Is it A, every year? Is it B, every 2.5 years? Is it C, every 10 years? Or is it D, every 100 years?
And the correct answer is B, every 2.5 years. Ryan, we just had a blue moon for Halloween, which is quite the rare event, and the next blue moon isn't until August 22nd, 2021.
Yes, it was certainly a sight to see on Halloween, as I'll be looking forward to the next Halloween blue moon in 2039.
Yeah, Ryan, it will be a little bit until the next Halloween blue moon. And that's all the time we have for this evening's show. We are your co-hosts. I'm Nick Guzzo.
And I'm Ryan DePhillips. Have a great evening, everyone.